Hello there, gamers everywhere. I'm Swipper92 and I'm here with a video on the demos available, well, some of the demos available during now the Steam Next Fest, where they celebrate the upcoming games coming to Steam in the coming months. And some of these games have demos available now, and here are a few of them that I've tried. Some of them I recommend, some of them not. But let's get to them quickly. First up, we have Agent 64, Spies Never Die. And it's not bad, kind of like GoldenEye 64, the old James Bond game from the Nintendo 64 era, which I'm guessing is the point, hence the name, Agent 64. It's a first-person shooter with mission-style gameplay. Higher difficulty means more objectives to complete, like disabling bombs and rescuing hostages. I like the gameplay. It's not always easy, but you'll get there. You'll get through it. I kind of like the gameplay, the overall fluidity of it, and the limited but funny controls. This next game, Aloft, was a bit confusing at the start, but I got into it after a few minutes. The crafting is very simple, but it has crafting, simple graphics, but at the same time very nice visuals, I think. Moving from island to island was at first a bit confusing to me, as you wouldn't be able to build a home, a base, as you would progress from island to island. I mean, the base would just fall behind further and further away. But then I got to the thing that attracted me to the game in the first place. The whole island can be turned into a big raft, basically. It's a very cool idea where you build a sail on the island and then that becomes your mobile home, you could call it. It's very interesting and could really be something. I also noticed there's a create your own island editor for those who like that kind of stuff. Brinefall. Full honesty, a non-functioning RPG demo. The demo had a few bugs, like the guide character disappearing and weird enemies spawning. But in full honesty, as it should be, even without the bugs, the game didn't do much for me. The combat was boring, the world was not exactly empty, but it was boring as well. My attacks only damaged one enemy at a time, which isn't ideal mechanic in a game where like 3, 4 or more enemies can attack you at the same time. It should have been more of a hack and slash in that regard, to me. Boring crafting system, click what you want, there it is. The map, just the map UI was very lackluster as well to me. I know I'm sounding harsh, but that's the reality. That's the reality. The Courier, a much more relaxing game than any other on this list, or in this video, I should say. You have a bike and you deliver letters, do mini games. There are different paths to take throughout the islands to deliver the letters. Some of them requires a bit of creativity, it seems, or a bit exploring. I did find some bugs / glitches. I mean, almost these glitches where the bike just flies around almost seems so extreme that I wonder if it was left on purpose. It really gets you around the island quickly. Very casual and relaxing, nice art style. And the only issue I have is that it could be very easy to lose your bicycle, which could theoretically leave you stranded, or at the very least force you to run far, very far. Oh, and these types of entering mechanics are annoying, where you just go up to the house and you enter it. I want to ride away, not go in the house again. Very annoying. And here we have Deadlink, fast-paced cyberpunk roguelite doom game. That's about what you could call it. I like the art style of it. It's kind of retro, but also very cyberpunk looking. But I suck at these fast-paced FPS games. I have to tell you that. I liked it though, but sadly it didn't bring much new things to any genre. But it's a good mix between these that they have. Not much weapon or gadget or any kind of variety really in this game, or in the demo I should say, but it shows promise. It had the random generated rooms, that's about it. That was really variety. But moving on. Earth's Shadow, a third-person action game that can be played with roguelite elements, but not in the demo, unfortunately. In the demo, it was story-based. Not bad. I like the setting and environment, even though the environment was a bit one-sided, but still. You're a droid, as far as I could tell, and it's interesting following the story, actually. I found it surprising. Fairly good combat from what I sampled. Different range weapons with different stats, etc. Melee attacks felt very slow though. That was unfortunate, but the weapons shows promise. Frozen Flame. Now this is a game I could make a whole separate video out, I feel, because it's a very interesting one. I tested this one last year, but only very little, and I did not like the combat, but now, so much better. It has a nice art style that reminds me of Zenith, The Lost City, the VR MMO game. Everything is pretty basic in the game. The crafting, gathering, combat, enemies, abilities. It's basic, but blends well with the world, and the lore/story is quite interesting, at least to me. The world doesn't seem that vast and big in the demo, but I wonder what they can do with this in the release. I did die against a boss at one point, but I returned later with more knowledge on the game and combat ability. Kicked his ass. Felt really good. My only issue is that falling off ledges equals death and not respawning. I mean respawning at the edge of the cliff you fell off, because it's quite easy to fall off in some of these places. That's just annoying in this time of more casual RPGs and not Souls-like. Midnight Fight Express. Not much to say. Good beat-em-up fighting gameplay. Reminds me a bit of Sifu, but with a different camera perspective and without the high difficulty scaling. It has a nice art style, beautiful animations, and somewhat interesting main character with a story there. I do like the look of this game, and I'm looking forward to the full release, actually. The demo is, of course, not bad in itself. It explains everything you need to know, really, about the game, what it will entail. So, really good demo here. It throws you into everything you need to know, and then leaves it at that. Ozark. Yeah, can't recommend this one. It's one of those games that mixes genres that sounds interesting on paper, but in reality, it's a mess. A side-scroller where the characters exists in a 3D space. Confused? I was when I was trying to shoot some enemies. It was really confusing because trying to aim down in a side-scroller but in a 3D space was really confusing with a controller. And you can only play this game with the controller. Mouse and keyboard does not work at all. It looks good enough, but the gameplay? No. Just no. Test it and tell me what you think in the comments. Perish. Well, the name says it all. It's a roguelite that can be played in co-op. Looks really nice and plays good as well. Good controls, good animations, and very nice animations as well. Good variation on items you can use, as far as I could tell from the demo. It's quite fast-paced, like a Doom or the Deadlink name I mentioned earlier in this video. but here with a more of a melee focus, I would say. But ranged weapons do exist, but I have not tried them much. I did try them in the tutorial, but I haven't tried them anything in a run. You have to unlock the ranged weapons and of course new melee weapons. I do recommend trying this one if you are a fan of roguelites, and try doing it in co-op because it was quite hard in solo, at least to me, but as I said earlier, fast-paced FPS games or first-person games, not my strong suit. Selaco, or however you pronounce it. For those who want more of a retro-style shooter like the old Doom games, or more of a gory Star Wars Dark Forces type of game. Solid controls and tempo. I like the pixel art style, but my biggest issue with these types of games are that the lack of mission pointers. They don't have to point out every objective down to every detail, like, oh, this is where you'll find that card you need. But some pointers would be nice, like for example after opening a door show me where to go next or something like that, or more of a mission objective kind of style window. An option to toggle this on and off would be nice. That's something they could implement in these types of games. Trepang 2, another fast-paced FPS game, but this one with a more realistic graphic setting. Nice gunplay, feedback and such, but it feels like the SMG weapons are very weak compared to the pistols. Feels a bit strange, but I'm no expert on guns. It feels though that the SMG weapons, I need to put so many bullets into an enemy before they actually die from them. But it's fun, and it's not the easiest game, even with the abilities to cloak and make everything go in slow motion. Even with that, you're no superhuman here, but makes things a little bit easier. Somewhat. At least when it comes to my aiming. Kinda sucked. Turbo Golf Racing. Think Rocket League PvP, but with golf instead of football, and you have your own ball that can't collide with others. That's Turbo Golf Racing. I played this with a controller, and controls took some getting used to, but anyway, the game is not bad. I'm a bit worried that it will be a very heavy monetized game actually. But we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But I did enjoy the demo, and there were plenty of other people to play with, so no big issues there. Good connection as well, good stability. VergeWorld, or VergeWorld, whatever. Don't even try this one. The graphics aren't as pixelated as they look here, but the controls and environments, the shooting, I found nothing good in this game, truth be told. Might sound harsh for a small indie game, but that's how I think this game is. It's just avoid it. It could be worth it in the end. I mean, this is just a demo, but avoid the demo. It's just no. Cell, whatever, however you pronounce XEL. Another disappointment, really. The introduction bit is long and boring, combat is pretty boring, and the game is tagged as exploration on Steam, but I found very little of that. I did no exploration of any kind. In this demo I followed a very linear path, and that was it. After the demo we get to see a sort of a trailer that focuses way too much on combat. The combat looks quite boring, and what little I tried, it is boring. The game supposedly has challenging dungeons and time-bending puzzles, but sadly none of these were present in the demo, just like the exploration aspect. After the demo part, who knows, but this demo doesn't make me want to buy the game, sadly. It could still be good. but I'm not holding my breath on that. So that has been the Steam Next Fest demos that I've tried so far. Have you played any of these, or do you have any recommendations on any other demos we should try? Please put it in the comments. All the links to these games are in the description. Feel free to click over and watch them. I've been Swippy92, have a great life, and I hope to see you in future videos. Bye bye!